So this is part two of my two-part research project in examining YouTube as a framework for building loyal and interactive online communities to be used by organizations and businesses. So in part one, we examined what communities were, what organizations and businesses expect to see, what troubles they're having, as well as what YouTube does well. So now we're going to move on to the actual research that was conducted. So as an avid YouTuber myself, naturally I wanted to examine channels that I was subscribed to and attempts to examine their subscriber base and their loyalty and interactivity. So first I want to profile these three channels that I examined really quick. The first of which is Project Lifesize, so youtube.com/Project Lifesize. They have about 5,000 subscribers. It is a collaboration channel, so each day of the week a different person posts and they have a set posting day. So somebody posts on Monday, somebody posts on Tuesday, somebody posts on Wednesday, so on and so forth. As well as they have a viewer of the month who posts on a certain day. So it maximizes user interactivity. As far as external sources, they do have an external website for people to visit and to interact with via forums and things like that. The specific video I looked at had about 14,000 views. Um, yeah, so that's that channel. The second channel I looked at was Vlogbrothers, which just reached 200,000 subscribers. They have many sources for outreach. So specifically, they have an external website, they have a Twitter, they have a Facebook. They also do in-person tours, so they tour the country, meeting with their community to touch base, and they do this often. Um, so there's that. The video I looked at here had about 64,191 comments when I examined it. The last channel we're going to be looking at is the Philip DeFranco Show, which is a commentary channel. And his channel is rounding on 1,000,000 subscribers, 974,489. He does have external means. This is probably the most highly produced channel on YouTube. So he's got other YouTube channels or sub-channels beneath it where his community can interact, as well as external websites, in-person tours, YouTube, Twitter, all the social media sites, so on and so forth. So lots of ways for his audiences to engage as well. And it's through those mediums that he also does user-generated requests for content. So, and those are the profiles of the three videos that we're watching. Again, Project Lifesize, Vlogbrothers, and Philip DeFranco. And looking at these, so we looked at Project Lifesize, and how I did this was I pulled 50 comments from each video. Now these were randomly generated, so I picked their most recent video at the time. I would go to a page in the middle, like, you know, it's got all their comments are listed in pages, so I took the first 500 comments, used a random number generator to pick 50 comments, and out of those 50, I looked at, out of the total, how many of them were related, out of them, how many were negative, of those negative comments, how many of them were censored, which I'll cover in just a sec, and then how many of those were crosstalk or talk between them. So really quick, when I talk about censoring a comment in YouTube, there is a way when I view comments of a video, I can either give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. A thumbs up on a comment will draw attention to it, it'll turn it green. A thumbs down will turn it red, and after so many thumbs down, the comment will collapse on itself, and the user has to literally hit show details to be able to see what that comment was. There is also a mark as spam option, which will automatically collapse the comment. So those are the four things that I looked at in each video, and the results were as follows. So for Project Lifesize, out of the 50 comments that I looked at, 100% of those, so 50 of those were related to the video specifically. 0 of those were negative. They were all positive or thoughtful contributions, so therefore none of them were blocked. And only one of those comments was in communication with another user. When looking at the Vlogbrothers channel, out of the 50 comments, all 50 were related. 0 were negative, but 3 were blocked. Which means there might just be somebody in there who's just doesn't like somebody or thought they were being funny. Again, one of those was in talk with another user. Now on the Philip DeFranco Show, the one that has about 1,000,000 subscribers, Out of the 50 comments, 36 of them were related, 14 of them were negative. Out of those 14, only 4 were blocked or censored, and 0 of the comments were in talk with one another. So the takeaways of this research project were that YouTube does in fact create a platform for loyal communities to self-regulate and to respond and interact with their community. However, the study didn't show great amounts of interactivity between its subscriber base, which I hypothesize that in future research there will be greater amounts of. It might have just been the videos I looked at, but given my personal YouTube experience, I know exists. Also, that at some point in the subscriber count or rate, we move away from these loyal grassroots user-generated communities and move more towards mainstream media and start to lose that buy-in of the subscriber base. So in future research, maybe done by myself or anybody else who's inspired to, we could really start to look at what point in that subscription rate does it drop off, and is that in relation to certain categories. So YouTube has broken down categories of music, directors, commentary, comedy, so on and so forth. So if it's consistent across genre, and then if demographics have a play in it at all. So that's where I leave off. Those are the questions I have, and there's much research still to be done.